Okay, guys, this is going to be a mixture of the results and pick show because I'm lazy. So last week, our picks, I won 8-7. Was probably our lowest scoring week for the entire season. We both picked a bunch of games that turned out the opposite way. Some examples were the Jets against the Seahawks. Games like that we just didn't see coming. And basically, the whole week boiled down to Monday night against the Bears, with the Bears against the Packers. We split that one. Andy naturally went with the Pack. I went with the Bears, and I got that in overtime. So that's awesome. So I won 8-7. Anyway, on to this week's picks. Alright, so this week, just to let you know, all the games are on Sunday night, or on Sunday. There's one night game, and currently there's, I believe there's 2 afternoon games right now, but we'll see. Possibility of a schedule change of one of the 1 o'clock games getting bumped back. So anyway, here it goes. The Rams are playing the Falcons in Atlanta. The Falcons have a chance at making the NFC South championship this year after losing, which would make it 4 straight years in a row, I believe, maybe even 5 of the team that finishes last in the NFC South winning the division the next year, which would be pretty cool. However, with my other picks, that's not going to happen. But I do have the Falcons winning. The Rams have nothing to play for. They've been playing really bad lately, and I think the Falcons are going to want to go into the playoffs on a high. The Patriots are playing the Bills. The Patriots are playing for a possible playoff spot and AFC East Division Championship. I'm going to go with the Pats here. The Bills had a nice game last week, but I don't think it's going to happen again. The Patriots are a good cold weather team, as they showed last week against the Cardinals. The Chiefs are playing the Bengals. Here's an interesting thing that could happen. The Chiefs have been playing pretty outstanding the last month, and they've been in games, which is unlike past seasons. However, the Bengals also have the potential to be a dark horse here, but I'm going to go with the Chiefs in Cincinnati. I think that they finally are going to get a win. Tyler Thigpen's been looking pretty good. I picked him up on fantasy football, so if you haven't, if you still can, you might want to. And in the historic march to infamy, the Lions have their last game to try to win. They're playing the Packers in Lambeau Field. This is not going to be pretty, folks. I'm predicting the Packers win and win big. I'm saying that Aaron Rodgers is probably going to throw for at least 2 touchdowns. He probably won't throw a pick at all, and Ryan Grant is probably going to have a 100-yard day. The Titans are playing the Colts. Here's an interesting game. The Titans aren't playing for anything, and the Colts aren't playing for anything, so it really is going to boil down to who has the better backups. I'm going to go with the Titans. I think that they have a better running game, which is really going to decide that. Peyton Manning's pretty much going to come out of this one before the second half, and I'd be surprised, frankly, if the Colts really put up much of a fight here, so I'm going to go with the Titans. The Giants are playing the Vikings. The Vikings really need this game. The Giants don't need it at all, and unlike last year when they played the Pats in Week 17 and started their starters, I think this time the starters are only going to play about 2 series before the Giants pull them, just to make sure they have a rhythm because they have the week off. The Vikings here are fighting for the NFC North title. If they win, they get it. If they lose, the Bears have to win, and then the Bears would win the NFC North. The Panthers are playing the Saints. I've got the Panthers winning this one. The Saints only have Drew Brees to play for. He needs 407 yards, I believe, to break Dan Marino's record for season passing yards. I don't think he's going to make it. The Panthers, they're playing for a 2 seed and a first-round bye in the playoffs. The Browns are playing the Steelers. I'm going with the Steelers here. This one's pretty easy. Even though the Steelers don't have anything to play for because they've locked up the 2nd seed and a first-round bye, I think that the Browns are just that bad. The Raiders are playing the Bucks. The Bucks need a win here, and I picked them for a win. However, it's not going to be enough to put them into the playoffs. and I'll have more on that later. The Bears are playing the Texans, and the Bears need this one and help from the Vikings, as I said earlier. However, if they do win, there's a better chance of them getting into the wild card. So I've got the Bears winning because the Texans have nothing to play for. The Jaguars playing the Ravens. The Ravens win and they're in. So possibility of two rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs this year, and that's what I'm going for. Is I'm picking the Ravens in this one. Redskins are playing the 49ers. Here are two teams that have nothing to play for, but the 49ers have been playing outstanding the last month. Looks like Mike Singletary's got the job for another year. So I'm expecting the 49ers to win this one. Oh, and by the way, they're growing mustaches for this game, which is for throwbacks, because they're wearing the throwback jerseys. So I think that's awesome. The Dolphins are playing the Jets. Here's another game with big playoff implications. If the Dolphins win, they win the AFC East title. If the Jets win and the Patriots lose, the Jets would win the AFC East title. There's also a possibility of wild card here if the Jets win. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins, even though they've already played. They played last week against the Chiefs and proved that they could score still in the snow and the cold. And now they're going to New York. The Jets have not been looking good since their win against the Titans, so I'm going to go with the Dolphins. The Cowboys are playing the Eagles. The Eagles still alive, barely, but they're going to need a lot of help. So, and the Cowboys, they win and they're pretty much in. However, I'm going to go with the Eagles here in an upset. I think the Cowboys just have too many problems, and I think the Eagles are hungry for a win. They should have won last week, and they just missed. It really came down to just a yard. I mean, if you were watching the game, it was just a yard. The Seahawks are playing the Cardinals. This game really doesn't matter, but I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win. The Seahawks, they played well last week. Now they're playing the Cardinals in the desert. The Cardinals will just glad to be out of the cold, and I think their passing attack will warm up with the better conditions that are down in the desert. And then the final game, which is the night game on Sunday, pits the Broncos against the Chargers. Winner of this is the AFC West champ and gets to go to the playoffs. I'm going to pick the Chargers, improbable as it is. They're going to be champs at 8-8. So that's my pick for the week. For the tiebreaker, which is the Grand Valley men's basketball team against Marygrove score differential, I'm going to go with 20 this week. Last week, if you didn't know, they outscored their opponent by a ton, and Andy won that one because he overpicked me. So that's it. I'll be back later with a little bit of a playoff picture preview based on my picks. So see you later.